Honourable human
on the point of order.
Honourable they are not picking our calls. They made up their minds. I am the best.
Every day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics.
Nobody's ambition is what's the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
Natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
Television network, and of course it's that time of the day where we'll take you through happenings in this sporting world. Ekpo Temple is my name, and we shall take you 360-degree round the world of sports. So today, the UEFA Champions League enters its second match day, and teams, of course, around the continent attempt to separate themselves from the top and those below. It is scrambling for points. Napoli has managed just one draw out of their 4 meetings with Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League with 3 losses. How far can they go tonight with the likes of Jude Bellingham and Victor Osimhen locking horns this evening? Manchester United themselves need a strong performance at home at the Theatre of Dream, Old Trafford, against Galatasaray, the team from Turkey, having lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace over the weekend. Thus, the Red Devils have all it takes to cope with the numerous injuries and muster a win tonight. And then Chelsea yesterday, for the first time this season, won back-to-back against Fulham, and it looks like the winning mentality is gradually rejuvenating. How far can they go? These and many more will be yours in our jiffy. from that short breaker is T Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. We'll get down to business, and joining me this evening to bring you some of the scintillating analysis you can ever think of is Emmanuel Michael. Emmanuel, it's a beautiful evening, an evening of the UEFA Champions League. Welcome to our studios.
Thank you. Good evening, Temple, and good evening to our viewers out there. Of course, I'm pretty excited because it is UEFA Champions League night.
Pretty excited, you say, yeah. Starting with, all that played out yesterday. We'll start with football. We saw a glorious game at the Onikon Stadium in Lagos, where Sporting Lagos were able to display what they know how to do best. This is a team, formed or established a few years ago.
Yeah.
They have done so well in the last 6 months. And the last 6 months, what we saw yesterday at Onikon looks like a team that want to hold strongly the pride of Lagos. And 2-0 win against Gombe United, for me, is a good start.
Definitely a good start, and I'm pretty excited with their display. It goes beyond just winning the game 2-0, but I had to dig deep and I was able to, go through their matches. I discovered that they have a pattern of play. They are a very formidable team, very compact, and there is this campaign style of football that they play. They play beautiful football away from. Apart from winning 2-0, there is this, metrics that they are trying to, bring into the team. So for me, I think they are showing that indeed they can be able to stand with the big teams out there. What they did last time out in the Super 8, it clearly tells you that it wasn't a fluke. They have continued with that format. And I believe if they continue to replicate this kind of performance that they gave in yesterday, I think I'll see them contending for the league.
Certainly. Of course, we saw Sporting Lagos displaying fine form. With that, now they now have 3 points for themselves, and they look like a team that will continue to do so well. But the question is we're going to ask is, we've seen them, yes, no doubt as to the team, the way they will play. They play good football. They have a good club structure. They have a very good brand. They're in Lagos, one of the most commercial city. So it looks like everything is going in for them as it stands now. But how far can they go? This is just that first taste of the bitter waters or the good days in the Nigeria Premier Football League. Do you think that they can continue this run, or like a saying in local parlance, this could just be the initial gragra, like we've seen from teams like Vandras FC, things like Mountain of Fires and Miracle? Do you think that they will toe that line, or they want to create a structure that will keep them? What should be their target so far this season?
Honestly speaking, I think from the way they have played and the way they have been able to organize themselves, I tell you, I'm seeing a team that have a very big heart and are ready to compete with the biggest of the team out there. When you talk about the likes of Rivers United, when you talk about the likes of Enyimba, just name them. I think with what they displayed yesterday, I think it's not just the IGG in quote, where they say initial gragra in our local parlance. I think they are ready. And what I expect them to, do this season is to be able to see if they can at least, have a top 4 finish within the league. Because the top 4 finish...
That would be mountainous.
Yeah.
That looks to me like something that that would be a strong call. That would be, putting them under pressure. Don't you think so?
No. With the kind of organizational structure they have, and they have one man, who have seen it all when you talk about the sporting reportage in Nigeria, talking about Godwin and Nahena. Is one man who also understands the workings of, sport and football generally. And I believe with his wealth of experience, he's going to, add a whole lot of value to the team. And again, don't forget, Sporting of Lagos, they have quality players, and their coach is up and doing. So for me, I think a top 4 finish this season, will not be a bad idea. And I believe with what I saw, yesterday in their game, I strongly hope, that they are going to finish within the top 4 range come this season.
Well, we'll keep our finger crossed on Sporting Lagos, but Sporting Lagos look like a team that have the magic wands to gamble something out from the league this season. We've seen some clubs come and some faded out, but how far can they go? We'll just wait. But so far, they played against Gombe United yesterday, and that was the last game of match day 1 of the new Nigeria Premier Football League season. Let's take a look back at some of the games played.
All right.
Match day 1 had 23 goals scored. 7 home wins, just 1 draw against Lobby Stars and Heartland Football Club, and that looks for me like a start. Not many will be. Many will feel that it's understandable if you play Nigeria. But for me, if you look at the fact that there was no officiating cry, there was no outcry. I mean, massive outcry about officials. One should think that it is a good start, regardless of the fact that we never had an away win.
Definitely a good start for me because we, just like you said, we do not have any crowd violence, neither is there any report of referees or match officials being molested and harassed, unlike what we've seen in the past. So for me, I think generally I want to say that it is a good start. We have some teams that were able to get a away draw out there. They played 2-2. And most of the teams that played in the game 1, you discover that going through the statistics, these teams, they were able to score away goals. It's just that some of them could not be able to, muster a win away. But it clearly tells you that indeed a team can go away and score goals and even pick a very vital point. Look at Aqua United, who went to Bayelsa United, and they scored first, scored the second goal, scored even the third goal. Bayelsa United has to rally, back into that game. Courtesy of lack of concentration from the side of Aqua United to be able to, muster that win. So for me, I think generally, the general overview of the first match day in the NPFL, I think for me, I think is very fair. Away from the fact that no away team went to get away, result, but definitely it's a good start.
A good start, you want to say, but let's take a look at the teams that never played because of,
continental
engagements. Rivers United are yet to play.
Yeah.
Bende Insurance are yet to play. Remo Stars are yet to play, and then Eyimba Football Club of Aba yet to play. Look at the caliber of games we have seen so far and how thrilling it has been. Do you think that we're going to expect even more stiffer, engagement in match day 2?
Definitely, because for me, I think it wouldn't be as business as usual, unlike what we used to know. When even before the league kickstarts, you can actually, pick 1 or 2 teams that you can pick that them to lift the trophy. But as it stands right now, I think all these teams are geared up. They are fired up to, make a very strong statement in this very season. And again, it is also coming at a time where the NPFL board is trying to, work some things out behind the closed doors. And we are beginning to see the benefit of those things, that the work that they've been able to put in behind the closed doors. The streaming of the matches, having secret monitoring, officials that can be able to keep their eyes on the performances of the referees out there, have gone a whole long way to give teams out there a lot more confidence that they can go away and pick very vital points. So for me, I think this season, league is going to be very competitive.
We are reviewing match day 1 actions in the Nigeria Premier Football League. And after those we play their home matches at the Ahmedu Elo Stadium in Kaduna. The Nigeria Premier Football League board turned down the Ikon Allah Boys' request, playing the original home ground, the Bakokan, to go around stadium. And the league inspection committee found that the stadium was not suitable to host matches for now. For me, this is a more like an upgrade, insisting on what should be done rightly. And I think that it may not favor them, but certainly they have to bear the brunt, because state government needs to invest in infrastructure, and that's more like what we are hearing from the league.
Sure, it's a welcome development, because if your pitches don't meet up with the standard of the NPFL, there's no need for you to host game out there. You go and play in a neutral ground, and that will help the state government or the club officials to be able to put their hands together and be able to put up an edifice or a stadium that can be presentable, that even if they have continental duty, they will meet up with the standard, because there are some continental duties that you have, or CAF inspection officials might come over here, and if they discover that your stadium or facilities do not meet with the required standard, I mean, you are not going to play in that stadium. So for me, I think it's a welcome development. It looks as though the MPFL board, they are beginning to wake up from their slumber, because like in time past, we wouldn't hear of this. They will just allow matches to go on in such a piece. So for me, I think as it stands right now, though not a favorable one for the home team, but I think this will help them to go back and put their house together.
And it looks like Rivers United will benefit from this, because they'll be playing them this coming weekend, and looks like it's going to be an evenly match contested game there. But for Rivers United, having not seen them play, one would expect that they would do so well. Imba Football Club too well. I mean, the top best team, obviously, arguably in the league now.
Yeah.
Almost stars say Imba Football Club and Real United, but including Ben Insurance.
Yeah.
Read them out. One would think that, I mean, it's going to be soccer fire getting to see them play the first game of the season.
Definitely, because like you can see now, the stake is high. Courtesy of the fact that Bayelsa United is topping the league with 5 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals advantage rather, because they played 3-2 against Aqua United. As it stands right now, the stake is high. Some of these big teams, talking about Rivers United, Enyimba FC, just name them. They want to, continue in this momentum, knowing fully well that the amount of goals that you score also, counts for you. A team have scored 5 goals. Some have scored 3 goals. So I think the stake is high. I believe that, if Rivers United and Enyimba FC do not take their time, I see them, being toppled on the league, by teams that we least expect this season.
Of course, more time to really estray all that has played out in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and more to come as we look forward towards match day 2 of the league. Meanwhile, Lobby Star captain Emmanuel Atsaka admitted that the 2023-2024 Nigeria Premier Football League season will not be an easy one for the club, for his club, and other clubs. That is to say, 38 games will be expected this season. Sure. We have seen some team play their first game. How tough, like he said, with this bid this season? It looks like there won't be any clear winner until the later stages of the competition. Or we're going to have it rosy like we should have expected.
I don't think it will be very rosy. Last time we played the Abridged League, and I was one of the opinion that this Abridged League is not bringing out the potentials of exactly the quality of teams. So for me, I think this full season, this full match that they are going to play, 38 games, is going to clearly tell us, the quality of a team. Because when you are playing the Abridged League, coaches will not have that ample opportunity to want to test some of their players. They keep using one players week in, week out, because these are the players that they are sure that they can guarantee. But there are some other good and quality players that is sitting on the bench, that can even offer more better than those that start the game every week in, week out. So for me, I think this should be the true test of the quality of football that we have been, craving for over the past couple of years. And again, coupled with the fact that there is a whole lot of improvement in the officiating. So for me, I think this season is going to be more tougher than any other season.
How tough will the Nigeria Premier Football League be? We'll keep our finger crossed and we'll just follow it as it comes. But we cannot leave without talking about taking a look at the streaming platform. That is one of those things that we get to enjoy as fans. Yeah. So that if you're not live at any stadium, you can have the leverage of following what is happening in the league and also having to watch games of your choice. All the games were supposed to be played on Saturday. Yeah. But courtesy of the streaming platform, the game Sporting Lagos against Gombe United was shifted to be played on yesterday, and it looks like we're going to have it that way, so that will give option for people to watch and also for them to make a profit. Friday, are we going to see games on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday?
I think that should be
a suggestion. That should be something, a policy that should continue because of the season.
No. For me, I think it's a nice idea when we have Monday night football away from the normal conventional Saturday and Sunday, football. If we have this Monday night football, midweek fixtures as well, I think it will afford the company, a whole lot of latitude time also to maximize profit for themselves. Because this is what we see in the English Premier League. Sure. We have Monday night football, we have midweek football. So I think it goes a whole long way to keep the fans, and not just the company that maximize the profit. It keeps the fans on their toes, because week in, week out, midweek, even Monday's night, you are certainly going to see beautiful games in your phone or in your screen, because you are streaming. So for me, I think it's a nice idea that this company, this telecom giant, have decided to segment the matches, not just restricting it to only Saturdays and Sunday, because by doing so, I think they are also going to maximize profit and also expand their network, expand, because there are some persons that might not possibly have chance that weekend, some do have chances maybe during the midweek. So you expect them to, generate a whole lot of customers by just segmenting these games other than, focusing it on Saturdays and Sundays. And again, one area of interest to me that I think I want to make it very plain is that the streaming platform, the AI camera that they are using, because I experimented it, I downloaded the app through my, Google Play Store. I downloaded the app to try and stream some of the games online. I mean, it wasn't giving me what I want, because at some stage in time, the thing was just hanging. It took some minutes before the thing would start, streaming again. And again, the cameras was not clearly, zoomed to the intent that some of the commentators can get to know some of these players, so that while they are giving their commentary out there, they can be able to point out names of players, So the camera is another thing that I think they should, work on, because some of the commentary I was listening while watching the game live, some of the commentators, instead of calling the names of this player, they resort in calling the jersey's number instead of the name. Why? Because the picture was not that sharp, so that they can be able to capture or see the names of the players. So I think these are some of the areas they need to improve on.
Some of the areas they need to improve on, but we hope that in the coming days, we'll continue to look at the Nigeria Premier Football League, and more talking points will emanate naturally from that side. Away from that, now let's take a look at what is happening in the world of football. And this time around, not about the league, but let's talk about the national team. We are Coach Santos Pissarro, the coach of the Super Eagles, had submitted the 25-man list for this month's international friendly match against Saudi Arabia and members of Mozambique in Portugal, while recalling defenders like Kenneth Mario and Bright Osahi. We have the other players, midfielders like Alex Iwobi and forward Terry Murphy are part of the those who missed out the last time, but they are back now. And in the midfield, we have Fisayo Dele Bashiru of Hatayspor in Turkey. I also have the likes of the three goalkeepers who were invited the last time. We retain their places: Francis Zoho, Adebayo Adeleye, and Olorunloke or Joe. We are all part of this. Jordan Toroni Riga is also called up, yet to have a cap for the national team. But Wilfred Ndidi is the captain of the side the last time against Sao Tome and Principe. And then we'll get to see other players like Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, Victor Osimhen, Taiwo Awoniyi, and Kelechi Iheanacho have also been invited. I asked myself, this game we played in Portimao in Portugal. And is there a player that what should first of all, let's scrutinize the list.
Yeah.
Is this the list that should match a team like Saudi Arabia and Mozambique?
For me, I think this team, I don't think this should be the right team, because this is friendly games and not...
when you say it's not the right team, are you implying that the coach should have done more or something else?
Yes, what I'm implying is that as it's a friendly games, this should have been a best time for the coach to want to test some players out there that he have not called up for the national team. We have a race of stars cut across the globe, Nigerians plying their trade in different leagues. We have the likes of Kolosho that his team got promotion to the Premier League, talking about Luton Town. Kolosho, a very good midfielder. You need to watch him out. There is this Nigerian, Destiny Udogi, the present left back of Tottenham Football Club. Though a German, he has represented Germany for under 20, but he's still eligible to play for Nigeria. And again, there is one man whose name has been, a household name out there in Belgium, talking about Gift Orban, who has been scoring goals week in, week out. He started from where he stopped last season by banging in the goal. There are other new players out there that I think whenever we are having friendly game, this should be the right time for the coach to do some experiments, and not when we are heading to major tournament proper before he begin to do experiment by calling some players that he has never invited in the national team. So for me, I think this is where the scouting teams of the national team should come in, because if we have a functional scouting teams out there are so many players, a race of talent that we have out there, that if our scouting team is up and doing, this should be the right time that they should scout many players and give it to the coach and see, coach, test this player and see how the person might fit in. And possibly we might get one or two good players out there and add to the crops of players that we have already.
Well, but one thing certain is that it's not the. It's the NFF should have a scouting policy that during the era of Amadu Mevin, I know that a lot of a lot of, overseas players, led their legends. So
Definitely.
For Nigeria, the likes of the young goalkeeper was discovered to play for Nigeria because of things like this. The likes of those young lads, Demola Lukman, they all switched their legends to play for Nigeria because of the way. So I think there should be an intentional or deliberate scouting policy that will really engineer these moves and ensure that the team gets to the level that we desire. Or maybe get to scout this player because he needs somebody to talk to them over time, convince them to be part of the team.
Exactly.
And then maybe that will sway them. But one thing too is that you can also tell how far a player can go. A player can be very brilliant now. You can tell how far he can go. It really depends. So carefulness is really called for him.
Definitely, I think there is need for us to do the needful. If we have a good, functional scouting teams, the likes of Ebere Chieze, today that we are talking about, have pledged his allegiance to England. The likes of, Dele Ali of this world, these are players that if we have been up and doing to be able to convince this player at the initial stage, they might, who knows, they might have, turned their allegiance to Nigeria, but most times we just allow these people be. When we see that they are doing very well, when they got to the peak of their career and their age, that is when we go to get these players. We have seen so many of them. The likes of Shola Amobidem, Agbolaho. These are some of the players that if we had done a more better job, these are players that should have added more value to Nigeria. So I think the starting team of the NFF need to be up and doing.
All right, with that now, we're going on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll head straight to club football. Not forgetting that Kuko Golf won her first game in the China Open yesterday. Same with Alcaraz, who defeated Casper Ruud in the China Open. Now he's into the semi-finals. Hopefully, we'll bring you more updates, in the world of tennis. But we're going on a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about how Chelsea won against Fulham yesterday. This is Atlantic Television Sports Extraordinary. it's still Sports Extraordinary here on Atlantic Television Network. And of course, before we went on that break, we talked about the Nigeria Premier Football League, also the 25-man list, called up by Coach Jose Santos Pizarro, the Super Eagles coach. And now it's time to talk about what is happening in the world of club football. And this time, we take a look at the English Premier League, where Chelsea finally got a win that ensured that for the first time this season, we've seen them won a back-to-back, game this season. Looks like maybe not this sort of win that would have delighted them or will make them happy, but finally Chelsea looks like they are getting back their mojo gradually.
Definitely, though not a good game for Fulham FC yesterday, because don't forget Fulham beat Chelsea last season at home at Craven Cottage, while they drew away at Stamford Bridge. So I expected them to do a more better job yesterday. But then again, you must give kudos to Chelsea Football Club for what they did yesterday. 2 quick fire goals from one man, Mikhailo Mudryk, who has never find the back of the net since his 88.5 million pounds move to Stamford Bridge yesterday. He was able to break that jinx by scoring one of the goals. And Amado Broja, coming back from injury, also registered his name on the score sheet. I think this one goes a whole long way to douse the tension and pressure that was being piling on upon Mauricio Pochettino and his boys. And I believe with this win, I think it will go a whole long way to poise them up, to spur them up to want to do more in their next game.
Of course, Chelsea should be, motivated courtesy of that win to really do so well. And I tell you for sure that they also need to keep themselves going. But Liverpool reportedly this morning asked for the audio of communication between the match officials during their 2-1 loss away from home. And I heard that the PG Mall, has granted that request, but I asked of what value the decision has been made. You can't take back the hands of time.
Definitely, decisions has been made, but they are still around the unfortunate and unjust loss to Tottenham, courtesy of human error. So for me, I think it's a nice idea, because while they are asking for the audio recording, it seems as though there was a monkey business or a hanky-panky play between the center ref and the officials behind the the VAR room out there. So for me, I think if actually they did not get anything positive in this one, but they should be able to unveil the error, or to expose this unjust treatment to the world, for what they for what at times as injustice, because what actually transpired was an injustice. The goal that was scored by Ruben Diaz that was actually called off wasn't an offside. The PGF came out a few days ago to actually state that it wasn't an offside. So for me, I think Liverpool is on the right track, because I believe they are still being, aggrieved about what happened to them. We're taking away 3 vital points against them for people who fought so gallantly when they were 2-man down. It clearly tells you how painful it is, and that is why they are pushing up, to get the, audio message of what actually transpired between the man at the center stage and the VAR.
Of course, we'll see how far that goes, but I'm sure that this truly do not portray the English Premier League on a good light, because some of the errors that should have been we should be talking about it in the EPL, but it looks like too many errors recently, especially the VAR was initiated to cope some of these errors, to ensure that there's proper communication, that especially when it comes to matters to
exactly
like this, this is more controversial because a goal has been scored, and you have all the rights, to look at it. You have the time to spend to analyze and draw everything to ascertain that is genuine. Yeah. But those things were not done. So it looked like there's some bit of foul play, and that's what Liverpool currently are fighting.
Exactly, and it's quite unfortunate for that this thing is happening to English Premier League, and this is one of the most watched league in the whole world, and having this kind of controversies, shrouded around one of the best league in quotes in the whole world. I think it speaks no good of the English Premier League, and again, it speaks no good of the officiating or the referees that officiate matches in the English Premier League. And come to think of it, in 2018, none of the English referee was taken to World Cup courtesy of this controversies that have been embroiled over the past couple of years. So for me, I think it's quite unfortunate for the English Premier League to be experiencing this kind of, a controversy at this point in time where the VAR was brought in to, help, checkmate all of this controversy. But instead of, helping the game, they are rather, taking the game backward, because when you talk about human error, it clearly tells you that the man behind the center stage controls the whole thing. The apparatus, the equipment is there, but the machine cannot give the go. It still boils down to the man that is with the whistle. So for me, I think it's a question mark to the English Premier League and to the referee, and it does not speak good of them.
Certainly, I'm sure that, in the coming days, the PG Mall will continue to unravel what might have transpired, and Liverpool, very painful loss there. And look at the scenario, they lost 2 players in the field of play that day. But away from that, Barca teenager last minute, Lamine Yamal has extended his contract with the Spanish side, and this looks like this is a young lad who have broken a lot of record by playing, since the likes of Lionel Messi and all that. But at 16 years, he's now extended his record. His game from now to 2026. That's a good one for me, if you ask me.
Very good one for a young prodigy that we take.
$1.06 million. Big money.
Exactly. I think that's
the release clause. That's
1.05 billion dollars. That is his release clause. So for me, I think it's a nice one for him, for a young prospect such as Lamine Yamal. I think he's building his game around Messi, according to the to what I heard from him online. I think this is the future of Barcelona as it stands, because he has the skills, he has the flair, he has the eyes, for the true pass. So for me, I think it's a nice one for Barcelona.
That's a nice one. But it's time now to talk about the UEFA Champions League. And of course, I did mention earlier that we'll look at everything that needs to, games that you need to watch out for this evening in the UEFA Champions League. We're going to have 8 games played across 8 different towns, cities in Europe. And FC Union Berlin is already on now. Braha will get you with the result. Red Bull Salzburg versus Real Sociedad. FC Copenhagen will play against Bayern Munich. And let's start with the big one. Bayern Munich traveling to play against FC Copenhagen in Denmark. Looks like a continuation of Real is top against Manchester United.
Definitely, because I don't see FC Copenhagen stopping Bayern Munich at this time. Not at the time where Harry Kane, one man that knows how to score the goals, is in the form of his life. So for me, I think this one is going to be a walkover for Bayern Munich. Though no disrespect to FC Copenhagen, who also have been in Europe, have been enjoying Europe football league over the past couple of years. They have not missed any European Champions League for the past 10 good years. So for me, I think it's going to be a big game, but I expect Bayern Munich to do the job with Harry Kane at the center of it all.
Union Berlin, the team representing Germany, is currently leading FC Braha at home 2-1 in the first half. They are currently in the break now. About this 2-1, Becker scored a brace so far. S. Becker is the player who has scored a brace for them in the 33 and 37th minutes of this encounter. FC Union Berlin looks like, a very dogged side. We saw them when they play against Real Madrid. It took the exceptional quality of Jude Bellingham to muster a point or 3 points from is this afternoon for RB Salzburg. They have the likes of Goma, who's in the heart of the midfield. Goods is also their key guard, is also in the midst. And for the likes of Real Sociedad, we can tell you for sure that Oizabel is the player that has scored, and he has also the Kubo, the Japanese, is also in the side, sparing the attack with that man. Marino and Mendes are in the midfield doing so well, and in defense we have Zubidia. These are players that they know what it means to get master points from that. So well, away from that, now let's talk about other games to be expected for the 8 p.m. games. Yeah. Inter Milan will host the Benfica, and this looks like a very tricky encounter for me.
Very tricky encounter, you must say, because Inter Milan, they have been doing very well in their league as well. And they have one man who always comes to the party anytime he's called upon, talking about their able captain, Lautaro Martinez, who came off the bench in their last game, the 50-something minute, where they were still playing 0-0. He came off the bench to score 4 good goals, thereby giving Inter Milan that win during the weekend. And again, the Benfica side, they are a very strong side. You know how far they went last season in the Champions League. They were able to create 1 or 2 upsets out there. And this season, they have continued from their good performances last season. And they are very strong side. So for me, I expect a very tough game tonight.
A very tough game you expect there. And the one thing that I also expect to see is how tough will the guys from Galatasaray, or how threatening do the guys possess as compared to what Manchester United will have to offer at the Theatre of Dream tonight in Old Trafford?
I think if you ask me, I will tell you this is a blockbuster game for me. I know many people will be looking at the SSC Napoli versus Real Madrid, but to me, I think that Manchester United versus Galatasaray game to be the blockbuster game tonight for me. Because why? Manchester United, as it stands right now, they have a whole lot of crisis in their hand to solve. They have injury crisis, behind the scene crisis as well, board crisis, coach and players crisis. I mean, there's a whole lot of crisis. And again, coming at the heel where they just lost their last Premier League game, I think there's a whole lot of problem within the Manchester United room as it stands right now. Meeting a very formidable Galatasaray side that have great players, the likes of Lucas Torreira, the likes of Wilfred Zaha, the likes of Hakim Ziyech, the likes of Moro Icardi, Sanchez, Atete. These are great players that we know what they can be able to bring to the table. So for me, I think it's going to be a handful of opponent for Manchester United to be able to contend tonight. If they are not careful enough, I tell you that game is going to end in the favor of Galatasaray.
Now, let's look at Manchester United's setup. I mean, they need to win tonight so that they don't rewrite their good history in the UEFA Champions League. And Galatasaray, like you mentioned, a race of stars, stars who have achieved so much in different clubs, assembling them together in Turkey. And they're going to come back to some, their home ground. Some, the league that they left a few years ago. One thing in the back of the mind would be, I want to come back to England to win against Manchester United. And Manchester United, as stands now on paper, looks like a team that may not do so well against them. But this thing about Manchester United playing in their home ground, and I tell you for sure that the UEFA Champions League is a different ballgame altogether. We saw the effort they put against Bayern Munich. And so I'm looking at the mindset. We hear that Anthony might be coming back after his controversial debacle he has recently, where he was sidelined for some time now because of those investigations are still on anyway. But Anthony might be back. This is one player they bought with huge or lonesome amount of money. But then we've not seen him in recent time. Will his addition improve the Manchester United setup?
For me, I do not think so. Why? Because Anthony is still having some issues. There's a psychological issue that he's having presently. You know that I've been flying from Brazil down to England to police station to attend one, police case or the other, courtesy of the allegation that have been leveled against him. With a whole lot of this thing playing in his mind, for me, I think it's going to be a distraction. Though a cheering news in some angle that at least they have a formidable, hand that is going to be cutting in from the left side, to add value to the Manchester United squad. But for me, I think as it stands, the Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dream, has been desecrated. The Old Trafford is no longer a place that teams go, and with this fear, that fear factor is no more there because of the way Eric Ten Hag, and his men have been performing below par this season. So for me, I think the addition of Anthony is not going to change anything because Anthony has his own, issues as well. Like I said, there's a psychological, effect that will be running through his mind that for me, I don't think he's going to give out his best.
Ruguilon will not be part of it. Diallo will not be part of it. Luke Shaw will not be part of this game.
Martinez
will not be part of this. So they have a lot of injury worry, and even Malasia will not be part of this game. And that's for me very worrisome for if you're a Manchester United fan. But let's take a look at Napoli Real Madrid. This is the match of today, and all eyes it will certainly be on how Napoli will cage Real Madrid. They have played 4 times, they've lost 3 times, and with tonight change the dynamics, or with the narrative it change. If it will change, where would that the winning be coming from? Victor Osimhen or Jude Bellingham?
Well, as it stands right now, Real Madrid, they might not be doing well anytime in the league, although they are topping their league right now. But when it has to do with the Champions League, you expect Madrid to, come up very strong. But, the record speaks volume as well. 4 times they have met with Napoli, and they have win 3 times, were able to draw just 1. Out of those 4 times, they have been able to score 9 goals, while Napoli have scored, a total of 3 goals. So for me, I think the record, if there's anything to go by, I will give it to Real Madrid. But don't forget then that SS Napoli is back, because it looks as though they did not start their league pretty well, but at least from the past 2 games now, they are beginning to pick up their mojo. And one of their star man, talking about Victor Osimhen, released a statement a few days ago trying to clear the air about the controversy of, the TikTok issue and all of that. So for me, I think it's going to be a very tough game. And Carlo Ancelotti have pointed to the fact that Victor Osimhen and Civica Kvaratskhelia are the 2 dangerous players that Madrid need to watch out for. So for me, I think, as it stands, I can't actually put my mouth, on any of them.
Of course, I was also going to watch the game against PSV Eindhoven versus Sevilla. Same as in France, ROC Lens will host Arsenal. For Arsenal, if they get to win this one, that would be a good one for them. We saw how they, dismantled the PSV a fortnight ago.
Definitely, after 6 years not playing the Champions League, coming back, they want to make a very strong statement out there. Winning their first game, this is their second game, and I believe, Mikel Arteta and his boys, they will be willing to give out their best.
Many thanks to you viewer out there for being part of the conversation here on Atlantic Television Network, Sports Extraordinary. And we cannot leave without informing you that our Sports Extraordinary goes to Sporting Lagos for a beautiful football, well-branded football they brought back to the elite Nigeria Premier Football League. Ekpo Temple is my name. I'm so glad to do the show today with Emmanuel Michael. Until we come away again tomorrow to review the results, as well as to take you through fixtures for the UEFA Champions League tomorrow. Stay locked here on Atlantic Television Network. Follow us on social media platform, Facebook, Instagram,